Misjudged, but where? The West plunged itself into chaos by attempting to punish Russia. What went wrong? The West itself plunged into chaos by trying to punish Russia with sanctions and support for Ukraine. The Global South has seized control of the global financial system, and the countries that oppose Russia's special military operation are struggling to cope with the crisis engulfing them. It is quite possible that Vladimir Putin is able to benefit from the saying. Never miss an opportunity offered by a crisis, since in France, Germany, Romania, and South Korea, countries that were particularly vocal in opposing his special military operation in Ukraine, there is now political turmoil. The punitive sanctions imposed by the West on the Russian economy have accelerated Putin's drive to see the Global South seize control of the global financial system, and now the Russian president can enjoy watching the democracies most strongly opposed to his operation being caught in a state of confusion. Chaos is shaking the heart of the European Union, where sanctions and military support for Kiev have become a thorn in Putin's side, preventing him from realizing his ambitions. French President Emmanuel Macron will appoint a new prime minister after his previous candidate, Michel Barnier, resigned following a vote of no confidence. In Germany, the coalition government collapsed after Olaf Scholz dismissed the finance minister, leading to pressure on the chancellor to step down before the February elections. Any European chaos is beneficial to Putin, said Itai Latam, a French political expert at Westminster University in London, in an interview with Newsweek, even if it is not entirely caused by Russia. Russia's current goal is to sow discord in Europe and undermine any European cooperation based on rules. Any instability in one of the major European states makes it harder to achieve European consensus on common economic policy and especially on defense issues, Latam said. From the perspective of immediate impact, the lack of government in France significantly complicates the development of national policy towards Russia. The consequences of Macron's unexpected decision to hold snap parliamentary elections in June, which revealed deep divisions in parliament, led to the formation of three factions: left-wing, center-right, and far-right. To oust Barnier, the socialists aligned with the left and the far-right. It remains unclear how Marine Le Pen's far-right party, the National Rally (RN), will navigate this crisis, but it is possible that Macron will struggle to find a successor to Barnier who satisfies all sides. The Russian regime will see any strengthening of the RN as a positive sign, as this party supports Russian policy, and in the past, it has received Russian backing, said Latam. In Romania, located on NATO's eastern flank, Moscow is accused of promoting far-right candidate Călin George Cubic in the first round of elections, the results of which were annulled by the country's constitutional court. The court ruling came after Romanian President Klaus Iohannis declassified intelligence reports claiming Russia had conducted a campaign of interference aimed at supporting George Cubic on TikTok and Telegram. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova rejected the allegations as baseless and stated they were part of an anti-Russian hysteria. However, an analytical report on the elections, compiled by the Atlantic Council, warned of a dangerous situation in this NATO ally, with senior fellow Ian Brzezinski stating that in Romania, due to foreign interference, the presidential elections were practically stolen. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away in South Korea, protests are erupting. On Saturday, following an attempt to impose martial law, a vote for the impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol was held. Tensions are rising on the peninsula. Rachel Beatty-Riedel, director of the Center for Global Democracy at Cornell University, told Newsweek that Yoon Suk-yeol had been a partner in the democratic agenda of the Biden administration. The South Korean president was willing to raise the issue of human rights in North Korea as a condition for political rapprochement between the two countries in ways that might contradict China's interests. Now, allies who once saw Seoul as a strong democratic partner will assess the political resilience of South Korean citizens, political parties, and institutional checks and balances. The political upheavals observed in South Korea could have significant consequences in a broader geopolitical context, Riedel said. However, autocratic competitors will not hesitate to point to the disorder as an example of instability and, therefore, undesirable events. As Eric Gomez, senior fellow at the Cato Institute, told Newsweek, Putin probably enjoys the internal political instability in South Korea, France, and other democracies, even though the consequences are difficult to predict. The upheavals will have some impact on Russia and the conflict in Ukraine, Gomez continued, but the biggest player in this game is the United States and the future president, Donald Trump. The enormous role the United States plays in supplying arms to Ukraine means that U.S. actions are likely to be decisive, Gomez said, adding that he does not believe that Moscow or Pyongyang will aggressively exploit the unrest before Trump's inauguration. Both countries have every reason to believe that the new American administration will want to engage in direct negotiations. However, if North Korea attacks South Korea or if Russia takes actions to escalate the situation, the chances of negotiations with Trump could diminish.